I don't want to be strong like man who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.
Welcome to another episode of Bitch vs. Bear with your hosts, Amber, me, and me, Sydney, co-owners of Shield Maiden Trading Co. This is a show where we bitch, laugh, and chat about all things fitness and wellness related to women in the LGBTQIA plus community.
Sure is.
Sure is.
And if you've been following along since the beginning, you might have realized that it has been a whole year since we started Bitch vs. Bear.
1 whole year.
1 whole year. It is our 1-year anniversary. Can you believe it?
No.
Me neither.
You told me it was our 1-year anniversary, I think, a couple weeks ago. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like we just started this thing.
Right?
It's been a whole year.
With no microphones, no computer. I think we recorded our first episode on my phone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we
Just
did.
Talking near it.
Yeah. And then we got that little clip-on mics.
Mm-hmm. And that made it better.
Yep. And that made it better.
And now we have fancy setup.
Yeah, we have microphones and headphones and all kinds of stuff.
So exciting. So since we have a bonus episode this month, it's November.
Bonus.
Can you believe that?
No.
So it's the first week of November. I'm still like
The Burr months.
August. We thought we'd put the bonus episode first this month instead of waiting till the end and kick off with a celebration of our 1-year anniversary and use this time to reflect on our first year of hosting a podcast.
You all can't just see me smiling, but yeah, 1 year of hosting a podcast.
It's wild.
It is wild. All
I
right.
can't believe it.
Amber, what do you think it was? What was it like starting a podcast?
Oh, it was nerve-wracking. I hate my voice. So it was really hard.
And therefore, we make Amber do all of the editing.
It's awful. I hate it.
She listens to every episode like 5 times.
Yeah, it's gotten better. Yeah, I remember being so nervous.
Oh, see, I was really, really excited.
I was excited, but
and I wasn't nervous at all because
of course you weren't.
I don't mind the sound of my voice. And I was like, oh, this is one of the things, like coming from the educational background of like, how do we start to talk about the things that people ask us questions about anyway? Like I always find myself answering friends or family. And I was like, let's just put it in a weekly podcast
Just
and
put it out there for everyone to listen to.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
So it was just, I was like, oh, that's a unique platform to start to answer these questions that I already get.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. I was like, oh yeah, of course that makes sense. I was like, check.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it definitely didn't make sense for me.
Like, you want to start a podcast?
I mean, I was down for it, but it was not something I felt was a strength.
I think you're doing great.
I'm enjoying it. It's gotten a lot easier. Of course, as the year has gone on and we've done it more, it's become more comfortable and easier to manage the anxiety of it. Yeah. So how's it going?
I think it's going well. I think we've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the research that we have to do for each week's episode. It just kind of broadens my knowledge, and it just is really fun to dig a little deeper into things that kind of normally get like a cursory glance.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think it's going? You better say good.
I mean, it's great.
She's replacing me. And starting in December, we'll have a new host.
Interviewing for a new host. Apply now. Just kidding. No. If I replace you,
I am irreplaceable.
except maybe with Lauren.
That's true. Yeah, if anybody was
She would
gonna,
also
like,
be able to carry.
yeah, like co-host, if I'm like dying or something, just slot Lauren
We'll
in.
get Lauren back in.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going really well. I think, like you said, we've learned a lot. I think our processes have improved over
definitely.
time.
Thank you to everyone who submitted feedback of like, you all sound really far away.
We appreciate feedback and can absolutely take constructive criticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah, I think it's going well. I think it's been exciting to watch our listenership grow.
Hmm.
Um,
Keep sharing with all your friends.
yes, please. Uh, be super annoying about it. Tell everyone you see.
Yes,
Um, yeah, I think it's going well.
I think so too.
I mean, I don't listen to it outside of editing, but I think it's going well.
I, I think we'll keep going.
Yeah, might as well. We made it this far.
Exactly.
We have
And
the next couple months planned out.
exactly. All right. What's been your favorite part?
Mm, mm. It's a great question. And I know I wrote the question, but I didn't think about how to answer it.
Silly.
Story of my life. Um, my favorite part, I think, has been the reactions that we get from our friends and family to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
I think that has been a lot of fun. Um, like I think we talk about this all the time. My mom is an avid listener. Um, and it's fun when I talk to her after new episodes comes out and she's like, "Oh, I've listened to that episode. I really liked that episode about XYZ. Like I started doing XYZ because I listened to that episode." Like it's been a lot of fun.
That's great.
And we'll sometimes get random texts or messages from our friends being like, "I just listened to this week's episode. It's so good. I love it." And like commenting on, you know, what we were talking about. So I think that's been a lot of fun.
I agree.
What has been your favorite part?
I really like when we have guests on.
Mm.
And I really like hearing the different kind of perspectives and how they contribute to the things that we're chatting about.
Mhm.
And we're gonna do hopefully try and get some more guests on. It's we're not interviewing celebrities, right? Like these are people within our circles.
We don't have
And
access to those.
yeah, right. If anybody has Ryan Reynolds, I think that'd be hysterical. But yeah, I just like having those people on and who are willing to contribute and talk about a little bit about like their personal stories.
Mhm.
And so I really like that. That's been my favorite part is like getting to see a different side of folks who, you know, they're a lot of our guests have said, "Oh, I'm really nervous about being on."
Yeah.
And then they come on and they're like, afterwards, they'll be like, "That was really fun."
Yeah.
You're like, yeah,
It
it is.
it's like just sitting down and having a conversation with your friends.
Yeah.
It's great.
But with like a little bit of a structure and
Yeah.
you kind of get to expand on it. So that's been great. I really
Yeah.
like that. That's my favorite part.
If anyone out there would like to be a guest, if they have something they want to talk about related to fitness and wellness for women or LGBTQIA plus, let us know.
There's a couple of you that I would call out, but I won't because we don't have your consent to do that.
She'll call you out privately later.
Yes, I will.
Cool. Okay. Do you have any favorite episodes?
So I was trying to think about favorite episodes and I was going back and like looking through some episodes. And the funny thing is, I'm like, I feel like each week as we're leading up to recording it, that's my favorite episode because we've had to research, we've had to dive down, we've had to write an outline, and so like you're learning, and in that, so like whatever the next topic is or whatever that week's theme is, that's my favorite episode. Like if you ask me what my favorite episode is right now, it's going to be next week's episode on like I won't. Well, I guess I can say
I
it.
mean,
It's
yeah.
going to be next week's episode. Is like the impact of aging on like fitness for women,
Yeah.
and so it's just one of those things. Like it's whatever the next one's going to be. That's my favorite episode.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your
let's see.
favorite episode?
I am thinking, I'm actually looking through our list right now to see if anything sparks joy.
Joy.
They all spark joy. Um, I mean, I really loved our June episodes, All Gay All the Time. Um,
Those were fun.
those were a lot of fun. Um, we had Becca on that month for an allyship episode, and I think that was a blast. I always have fun chatting with Becca. Um, I don't know. I have really enjoyed them all. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything specific. I think,
I think I would love a redo of like our first 2 months
okay.
because the quality that we were like filming with and things
Mm.
wasn't great, but I really liked the theme, right?
Yeah.
Like I think December was like the holiday
Yeah.
stressors. Oh,
Right there.
and then so like we talked a lot about that and it really, I don't know, I think it set a good tone and I
Mhm.
would love a redo of like being able to go through those things and have like higher quality and kind of know a little bit more about like podcasting and what we should be hitting on and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but those were really fun.
They were fun. I think the last episode,
Like getting drunk in my living room.
yes, I think with the alcohol episode for the holiday stressors was so much fun.
Yeah. And that's one of our top listened ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Forgot
So
about that.
it's just kind of funny to see like we had a lot of fun doing that one. There's a lot of good takeaways
Mhm.
from those things. So maybe not this year, but maybe next year we'll revisit some of those topics, or maybe this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
We kind of already have the rest of the season planned out, but you never know.
We could change it.
Yeah,
We have that control.
we do have that
It
control.
is our show. We can do what we want.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think I loved the holiday episodes, and maybe because it was the beginning of the podcast and it was all very new and exciting. Um, I also loved our self-care episode. I think
that makes me so
you
happy.
were so passionate about that topic. It was a lot of fun to record. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've talked about our favorite episode. Which episode do you feel like you learn the most? And for us, it's different, right? Like we're having to do a lot of research
Right.
ahead of time. So, which episode do you think you learn the most
Mm.
from?
Yeah. Let's go back to my content themes. Here we go. Um, hmm. That's such a good question. I feel like I think I learned the most from the what was it the feminatomy, because I think
Mm,
that's one that I wrote and researched.
yes.
Um, and it was really interesting to research that and like learn about differences in biology and like how male bodies versus female bodies develop muscles and manage stressors and strain and those kinds of things. Um, so I think that was really interesting. And I feel like I learned a lot from that one, kind of specifically.
That's cool.
I feel like I learn a lot every week, but
Yeah, I feel like I learn a lot.
that one stands out as one that I did the research on and remember taking deep dives into various topics.
I love that.
Yeah.
For me, I think a big one actually was our our women of color in fitness.
Mm,
And,
yeah.
I learned a lot from that. One, because it was the first time that I had felt like in the role of ally.
Yes. That
Because
was a
it's
fun
yeah,
realization for
it's
all of
not a
us.
role that I inhabit because I'm part of a marginalized community.
Mm,
Um, and so like because I'm part of that, I always just am like, oh, this is just my community and I need to represent. But it was definitely really fun to learn about. It was also really cool to learn about, just there's a lot of really great Black women in
yeah.
health and fitness, and they don't get enough credit.
Right.
And so it was just, yeah, I really liked that whole month.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just one particular episode, but it was kind of like how all of those fit together.
Yeah. That was a good month.
Yeah, it
I
was.
liked those episodes.
Yeah,
Good. Yeah, mildly depressing, but good.
as most things are.
I mean, yeah, it's a tough topic. Okay. Where do you think the next year will take us?
I think it will take us one to unexplored topics. Um, two, for us personally, I think we're still learning a lot of ways on how to get the podcast to reach people who might not know they would like to be listening to us. And so like, doing some data analytics
Mm.
on things. And so I think hopefully it will take us to new listeners and new ears, and be able to give folks outside of our current listening a new perspective, and
Yeah.
maybe one they didn't know they needed, maybe they didn't think they needed. That's where I think we need to get to, and where we're going.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, because this show is about education. I mean, really, at its core. I
Yeah.
think we're talking about hard topics sometimes, but trying to bring them in a really nice, fun, kind of lighthearted way, even if they're slightly depressing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this year has been a great growth and learning opportunity. I think we have had some hard topics, but we haven't really broached a lot of those really difficult topics. Like women of color was probably the biggest one.
Yeah,
Was definitely outside of our comfort zone as women who are not of color.
yeah,
Um, uh, yeah, I I think as we're becoming more comfortable in this podcast and in our researching and writing, your writing skills, I think the next year could take us into some more of those hard topics, those topics that are difficult to talk about and maybe uncomfortable and still need to be put out there and you know educating ourselves and others on.
yeah. I also think that there will. I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to. I think there might be a lot of fodder in
Mm.
the news cycles
Yeah.
in the next coming year. And I think, I think those things can align really well of like, having those hard topics because they're going to be culturally relevant.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be happening. In, and there's just not going to be any way to kind of push them under the rug because they're going to
Yeah.
just be all around, which is both exciting and also sad.
Well, yes.
It's like, yes, this is relevant. Oh, I wish this wasn't relevant.
Right. Really unfortunate that it's relevant.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Cool. Well, do you have anything else to say about the podcast besides share it with all of your friends?
Please share it with all of your friends.
Yeah.
Because we only have like we have some followers.
We have, well, that's the thing is there were people who are listening and then there were people who are following.
Please follow us.
So please, if you don't already follow us, but you are listening, like and subscribe, like YouTube, like it's not that hard on Spotify. If you follow, Apple also makes it really easy. So just like make sure you're following because that really helps.
It makes us feel good when we see those numbers go up.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you look,
Please feed our egos.
yeah, because they did the math and like people are listening.
Yeah.
But they're not always following. So please follow us.
I mean, also just listen too.
If that's your thing.
I don't know why you would listen and not follow. It makes it so much easier when our new episodes come out. They're just there for you.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Even when I forgot to post one.
Even when Amber forgot to post one.
I posted a little later. Still on Wednesday though.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It's still on Wednesday. Awesome. Well, that's a wrap on our special anniversary episode. We'd like to thank everyone for 1 year of listening to our podcast and or following. We have so much fun creating this space and learning about various topics, and we hope the journey has been similar for you.
Yeah.
And continue to follow, like, and listen, and submit any topics that you're interested in.
Yes.
We loved diving in back into October to the listener submitted ones.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
So I'd like to kind of keep that going.
Yeah. Definitely.
You don't have to wait for the month. You could just submit one.
Yeah. If you have an idea, send us a message.
Yeah.
We would love to hear it.
We would.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cue
Yay.
music.